Hi, and welcome to class today. We will be doing a short practice that is made to help relieve discomfort from sciatica. So if you ever dealt with that before, it usually kind of starts in your hip or your glute, and sometimes it runs all the way down the leg. And that can usually be caused by some tension or tightness in the muscles in the glutes or the hips. And it just kind of irritates that nerve that runs down the leg, and sometimes it can bring in some pain. So we're going to do some stretching here and just kind of listen to the body as you go, just like always. I'm going to be down on the mat, and you can practice on the floor, or you can practice on a bed, on a couch, whatever you have available to you. I'm also going to put a little blanket underneath my head. You can do the same, or the head can come all the way flat down. It might be nice to have a little elevation. So whether that's a block or a couple extra pillows, or if you're on the floor, a chair or something like that. I'm going to have blocks handy just because that's what I have accessible to me. So let's come all the way down to the back. Good. So starting out here, we're going to begin in what's called constructive rest. And that's what this shape is. Knees are bent, feet are flat, back and head are resting. So sometimes those back muscles can get really tight, and that might be what's causing that kind of tension on the nerve. So this is a great place to start. It kind of starts to ease that low back tension, especially if you're standing a lot or sitting a lot during the day. That low back can start to feel a bit irritated. We're going to stay here for another 5 breaths. But in general, this is a really nice, relaxing shape to be in for the back. As always, if it doesn't feel good for you, find a shape that does. Good. So now we're going to start to add a little more movement. And this is completely up to you. You can either bring your hands behind your thigh. I'm going to start on my right leg, but it doesn't really matter which side you start on. If bringing the leg in to this depth doesn't feel great for you, maybe you've got a strap or a scarf or a belt that you can put behind the thigh so the foot can be lifted a little bit, but maybe not as close as mine is. So all we're going to start doing right now is bending and straightening the leg. It doesn't have to go all the way straight, but see if you can kick your heel up. So kind of flex the foot and then point the toe and bend the knee. So we're going to flex and then point. Good. We're going to do that a few more times. All this is doing is flossing that nerve or gliding that nerve through the different muscles that it normally moves through. And this can just be helpful to loosen things up a bit and get things moving where they need to move. Good. Let's do it a couple more times. Flex that foot, kick through the heel, point the toe, bend the knee. Good. Last time here. Good. And release. Nice. Bring that foot down. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. So again, maybe hands behind, maybe a strap or a belt, whatever you've got handy. And we'll start that same thing. Start to straighten. It doesn't have to go all the way, just until you start to feel some pull or some tension. Point the toe and bend the knee. Good. Keep it going. Good. Stay with your breath. Nice. Good. Let's do about one more. And then release. Good. Both feet are going to go on the mat. So I'm going to show you where we're going next, and we might use in that block or chair or whatever you have for a little extra elevation. So I'm going to take that right ankle to the left thigh. So my knee is kind of bent out to the side a little bit. And we can stay right here if this is kind of where you are, what this feels best, for sure. If you want to go a little bit deeper, but not super deep stretch, take a block or whatever you want to put your foot on, just to lift it up a little bit. So legs are going to stay in the same shape. Let me kind of turn a little bit here so you can see the actual shape my legs are in. But it's a bit of a triangle. Yep. And then I'm going to take that left foot and just stack it on top of a block or a chair or whatever you've got handy. But this shape stays the same. Or I can take that right hand, slide it in between the legs, and take both hands behind my thigh or even to my shin. It's all about what feels right for your body, what feels right for this side. And if you're having a flare up with your sciatica, if it's kind of like really bothering you right now, be a bit more gentle with it. Good. Maybe those deeper stretches are for days when it's feeling really good and loose and we just want to keep things that way. But if we're having a flare up, be super gentle. Just be kind to yourself. Good. If you want to add a little rocking side to side, sometimes that can feel good. And we got one more breath here. Good. And we're going to switch it out. So take your time. Take that left ankle to the right thigh. Again, you're going to kind of make a triangle with the legs here. Same options. So maybe you stay with that same option that you just did. If you want to try out the different variations on this side and see what feels good, maybe you do that. But you can keep the foot on the ground. You can elevate it just a little bit onto a block, whatever you've got. Or this time, left hand's going to come in between the legs. And maybe both hands find the back of the thigh or the shin. Again, maybe some rocking here for you. Wherever you are, see what you can soften. So maybe the neck can relax a bit, the jaw, the shoulders. We've got about 5 more breaths here. Good. Slowly release. Bring both feet to the mat or the floor or wherever you are. Maybe those knees rock a little side to side. And if you have time, rest here in this constructive rest for a few more minutes. Knees bent, feet on the mat. Maybe those knees kind of fall in towards each other so those legs can really rest here. Good. Stay with your breath. Stay here as long as you'd like.